Okay, so what we have here is this is a multi-port charger. So as you can see by the diagram here, it's got the initial plug-in right here. It has a USB and then a USB-C on it, and then it has 3 additional cigarette lighter receptacle plug-ins, and then 2 more USBs on there. So you can plug in an awful lot into this thing. This is the user manual, and you see that there's a QR code on the back of this so that you can get information on the product. The directions are, looks like they're all in English, and they seem to be fairly brief, but they seem to be also quite in-depth. And again, if you have questions, you could just go to this QR code and scan that and go to their website. Okay, so I got this out of the case. Let's take a look at the rest of the contents in the case. There's a fuse right here, a replacement fuse, which is really cool because sometimes those fuses do go out, and having a replacement on hand makes it easy. You're not going to go searching trying to figure out what size fuse goes with it. And then this is the mounting bracket here, it looks like, in case you want to mount it to your dash or something like that. This is hook and loop, it looks like. So, yep. So half of this is going to go on your dash or your console or someplace like that, and the other half is going to attach to the device itself. And then, hey everybody, how you doing? So what I have here today is 2 3-port cigarette lighter chargers, and this particular one here actually has something additional. It's got the 3 ports that you can see here, but it also has 2 USB 3 ports here, and then in the plug-in itself it's got another USB 3, plus it has here a USB-C. Now you can tell there are 3 because they're blue, and this one here has on-off switches right here, here, and here. And when you plug it in, let's get some slack in this cord here real quick. When you plug it in and you turn these on, you can tell they're on because the little light turns on. See, this one's on already. So you can turn these on and off, and it's kind of nice because that way you don't have to plug or unplug these things to turn them on. Especially makes it nice while you're driving. So all you have to do is just hit the button and you turn on your CB or your camera or your laser detector or whatever it is that you have that you need to turn on. Now I have this other one here as well too. Oh, by the way, real quick, this one here between the USB 3 and the 3 and the C, when you plug it in, there's a readout right here that shows how many volts are going into the charger. Now there's this one here as well too, and this one similarly has 3 ports and similarly has 2 USB ports here, but these are USB 2s. You can tell because they're black. Now these also have on-off switches on them. Now when you turn this one on, these lights turn on and the ports glow, which is actually kind of cool. I don't know how bright they are, but you can see that if you turn them off, the ports stop glowing. So, and then there's lights here and here and here that turn on as well too. You can see that light right there. See that? You turn it off and on. Now this also has the ports here, but what this one doesn't have is the ports here. It just shows a readout in red, kind of LCD readout, how many volts are going into the charger. And you know, that's kind of a nice thing to have, because you know if your product, your item that you're trying to charge is getting enough volts. But at the same token, it's also kind of a it's something that isn't absolutely necessary, at least in my book. It's nice to have, but it's not necessary. Okay, so going back to this one here, this is the one that has the USB 3 and the USB-C and the plug-in itself. We're going to plug this in, and you'll see almost immediately. Let's turn the truck on here. There we go. It is showing, now the motor's not running. It's just the accessory switch is on the truck. And you can see that it's got 11 and a half volts running through it right now. And that's enough to run certain things around your truck, like CB radio and a dash cam. I got one dash cam there. I got another dash cam right there. And so this dash cam here, I've got this plug in right here. And we could just plug this in. Now, when I plug this in, you'll probably hear, and turn that on. Is that on? Yep. Did you hear that little chime? That's that dash cam turning on right there. So we know that it works. We know that there's power going to it, and it's still at 11.5, somewhere around there, volts that are running to it. Now, if we unplug this and plug it into this USB-C over here, let's flip that over so that it works. Come on. Maybe it goes this way. Oh, there we go. Okay, it just turned off. And it should turn back up. There it goes, turned back on. I unplugged it so it turned off. And then I plugged it back in and it turned back on again. So we know that there's power coming to this. And when there's power coming to it, it works. It's amazing how that works. So let's try the other one here real quick. We'll plug this back in. And we'll do the same thing with the other charger. Whoops. Okay, we'll get this one out of here. And we'll get this one here in here. So we'll get this plugged in. So that was the chime. That was the camera turning off. Okay, and we'll get all of these turned off. So those are turned off. You can see that this one is showing 12.2 volts going through the outlet there. And we got our trusty camera plug here. So we'll plug this in. There we go. We'll turn this on. We know it's on because those lights turned on and this light here turned on. You just heard the chime saying that, okay, the camera's running. And then let's test the USB 2 here. And we'll plug it in here. Let's see. Hold on one second. It should be turning off any second here. Come on. There it goes. That just turned off. All right, we just plugged it back in again, and it should turn, and it turned back on again. So now we know that both of these work. Both of these do exactly the job that they are tasked to do, which is turning on items within the cab of the truck that require electricity, and they do it quite well. They both operate pretty much so exactly the same. What it's going to come down to is the features that you want and the size of the charger that you want. And as I mentioned before, I prefer this guy here. I prefer this one just because it has more outlets on it and has just that much more variety to it and options to it. That's the only difference. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. We'll catch you on the next video. Until next time, cheers, everybody. Hey, I just wanted to say a quick thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you'd like to see more videos, the link to my Amazon storefront is down in the descriptions, and I'd love it if you'd take a little walk over there, check it out. Have yourselves a fantastic day. We'll catch you later. Cheers, y'all.